Welcome everyone, welcome back to Tamil Munchies. In this video, we are sharing how to make Kueh Bom Bijan. It's normally made with sweet coconut or red bean filling. The ingredients are about 4 to 500 grams of sweet potato, 1.5 cup of plain flour, and a little extra for dusting. Some sweet coconut filling. We have already shared how to make this in a previous video. About 2 to 3 tablespoons of white sesame seeds, 3/4 teaspoon of baking powder, which is optional, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and light cooking oil for deep frying. First, you have to rinse and peel the sweet potatoes. You can use any variety that is available. This particular sweet potato is the Japanese sweet potato, which is a little sweeter. Once you have peeled them, rinse it again and cut it into smaller pieces. Cutting them into smaller pieces speeds up the cooking time. Once you have done that, transfer it into a large pot or a deep frying pan. Add enough water until it's well submerged. Place the lid and cook it until it's soft and mushy. It will probably take about 15 to 20 minutes. Use a fork to test it. It must be cooked until it's really soft. Turn off the heat and use a strainer to drain it. Make sure it's well drained. Place it in a large mixing bowl, and while it's still hot, use a back of a ladle or a potato masher to mash it. You have to do this immediately once you have drained it because it's easier to do it when it's still hot. Once that's done, let it cool down. Then use your fingers and mash it further until there aren't any lumps. Then you can start adding the flour. Add a little at a time. The amount of the flour depends on the moisture present in it. Too much flour will make the kueh very hard as you are mixing it. At this stage, you can add the baking powder if you choose to use it, followed by the salt. Keep adding the flour and mix it well until it's not sticky, and you can form it into a nice smooth ball. The texture should be like the dough you prepare for chapati or roti. Now you can start dividing into 16 equal sized balls. If you prefer to make the kueh a bit larger, then you can make 12 instead. Roll the balls until it's smooth and nice. By doing this, it speeds up the time for you to make the kueh. Once you have prepared everything, get the type of filling you want to use. This is normally made into sweet snacks. It is commonly made with sweet coconut filling or red bean filling. Get a plate and dust it with some flour. Dust your fingers with some flour. Take one of the balls. Use your thumb and puncture a hole in the center and try to form it into a little bowl. Keep dusting your fingers with more flour so that it doesn't stick to your fingers. Once it has formed into a nice bowl, you can add the filling in. Pack it in with the back of the spoon so that you can add more stuffing. Do not overstuff. Fold the edges to seal it. Make sure there aren't any leaks or holes. Then roll it into a nice ball. Make sure there aren't any leaks before you place it on the prepared plate. Now repeat and complete the rest. It's important to inspect every piece and make sure there aren't any holes. Once you have completed doing this, we can start with the next step. Spread the sesame seeds on a plate. Take one of the balls and roll it over the sesame seeds and make sure it's fully coated. Shake off the excess and place it on the plate. Repeat until you have completed all the rest. If it gets too dry, it might not stick. You can use some water to moisture it. Get some water, wet your fingers and rub it on the balls, and then roll it over the sesame seeds. Once you have completed every piece, we can prepare to start frying it. Heat a wok or a deep frying pan on low heat. Add enough light cooking oil for deep frying. Do not wait for the oil to get hot. Start adding the balls in gently, one by one. Let it cook slowly on low heat. It's important to use very low heat because sesame seeds will pop and burst in high temperature. After about 2 minutes, you can gently rotate it to let it cook evenly on all sides. Cook it until it's evenly golden brown on all sides. Remove it using a strainer. Leave it on the strainer for a few minutes to drain off the excess oil. Then place it on a paper towel to absorb the excess oil. Like any fried snack, this kueh is best to have it when it's still warm, but let it cool down for about 10 to 15 minutes before you consume it. You can also use red bean or chickpea filling for this kueh. We have already shared the recipes in our previous videos. You definitely have to try this recipe. Share with us your photos and your comments. Till we meet again soon with another recipe. Vanakkam. Bye.
Thank you. Don't forget to like and subscribe.